Hello ladies, welcome back to Much More Than Beauty. As you can see from the title of this video, this is gonna be like a very controversial, touchy, personal, emotional subject to talk about. And so before you comment or before you judge me, I just ask that you watch this entire video before you comment anything. So basically, I am just here to share my story. And the reason why I want to share my story is because I'm hoping that maybe my story will help somebody out there. And I just want to open up to you guys more and show you like some truer sides of me. So basically, at the age of 17, I got pregnant, and I got pregnant by my boyfriend then at that time. He's now my husband. And so I got pregnant like a month, probably no more than 2 months after meeting him. So we were still like in a dating, talking phase of our relationship. And so I don't want to say that it was a mistake getting pregnant at 17, because I don't believe that it's a mistake. It was a surprise. And to get pregnant, you have to have unprotected sex. And so at that time, when I was younger, I was naive and I thought maybe, it couldn't happen to me. So I wasn't on, any birth control. I wasn't using any protection. And so basically, surprise, I was pregnant at 17. And at that time of my life, I was still in school. I was still in high school. I believe I was in the 11th grade. And of course, that news was very shocking and of course very scary, because, at that age, you don't really imagine that would happen to you. And, you have no experience. You don't know what to do. So I basically, I was leaning towards abortion because, like I said, I didn't know what to do. I was young, and at that time I felt like I wasn't ready, I wasn't mentally, physically, emotionally ready, to carry a child, to have a child, to take care of a child. And my boyfriend, he was always supportive. He told me it was up to me, and that, he would support me through my decision, whether it was to, keep my child or abort. And it was kind of a tough experience. So I was leaning towards abortion. I did end up making an appointment to like a Planned Parenthood, I believe. And I remember going. And I remember going with my mom. My mom actually went. It was very tough telling my mom. I didn't even really tell my mom. It was my sisters who kind of like snitched on me and told my mom. And so then, I confessed to my mom and I told her that it was true. And my mom, for support, she came to the appointment. And so at the appointment, the first thing they did is like an ultrasound to measure the size of the fetus. And the reason why they measure the size is to find out how much, they're going to charge you, and to see exactly like what the procedure is going to be, whether you're just going to take a pill and it's going to like miscarry, or it's just going to come out on its own, or whether they have to go in there and physically get it out. And so I was there laying on the table and they're doing the ultrasound. And I just remember asking the ultrasound technician, like, can I see? I wanted to see the screen. The screen was actually turned away from me. So the ultrasound tech was the only person that could see the screen. So I asked her to, let me see. And I was expecting to see really nothing. I was expecting to see like a ball or a clump of nothing, really. And so I was actually shocked to see like an actual baby. And I saw the baby, and I saw the hands and the fingers like go across the screen, and it was very like detailed. So it was definitely a baby. It wasn't a clump, it wasn't a ball. It was definitely a baby inside of me. And my mom was there in the room with me, and we became very emotional. And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, this is a real baby. And my mom told me, she's like, Stephanie, you don't have to do this. We can leave, we can go. And that right there kind of, it helped me make my decision, because my mom's support was so important to me. I felt like, my family's approval and understanding is all I needed. And her telling me, you don't have to go through with this, we can go, kind of took this weight off my shoulder. And I felt like I could actually make the right decision. And so I ended up getting up and saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through with this. I want to leave. And I actually forgot to say, when you go into one of these clinics, or when I went into the clinic that I went to, there were, women outside with picket signs, and they were, against abortions. Some of the picket signs had like very graphic, real images of aborted fetuses. And it was actually pretty scary. So anyways, I went in, I had the ultrasound. My mom, she told me, we don't have to do this, we can go. And I remember just getting up and going out to the waiting room and going to the front desk and telling them, I'm not going through with this. And I remember taking off like a medical bracelet and just like throwing it. And I just felt so emotional, because it just became more real. When I saw the ultrasound and I saw, the baby, it became so much more real to me. And so I remember looking in the waiting room and looking at the women in there and thinking, like, why are you doing this? It's a living baby, it's a living child, it's a living human in there. And I also remember this one girl who, was actually very pregnant. You can tell she was pregnant. She had like an actual bump. And if I had to estimate how far along she was, I would say she was probably like 5-6 months. And that shocked me, because when I went, I believe I was 3 months or less. So I was very flat. It didn't look like I was pregnant at all. And so seeing her, knowing that her baby is much bigger and that she's more than halfway there, and her being at that clinic was just very sad, because the only reason you were in that clinic and sitting in that waiting room was to abort your child. I mean, it wasn't like a regular OBGYN's office. You weren't there for a checkup. So, everyone knew what you were in there for. And it just broke my heart seeing all those people in there that were there to, terminate the life inside of them. And I remember leaving, and I got in the car, and as we're, going down the driveway to get out, the ladies with the picket signs, they're coming towards the door. They're coming towards the car. And so, I forgot what they said, but I remember saying, like, I didn't go through with it. I didn't do it. And they were just so happy, and they congratulated me. And I remember they gave me, like, my first pair of baby socks. And that was, like, the first baby thing that I got. And it was there at that clinic. And I remember just going home and looking at those baby socks, every day. Literally every day. And I'm just so grateful for my mom's support, because if it wasn't for her, I feel like if it was not for my mom telling me that, I don't have to go through with it, I probably would have gone through with it. And I also feel that if I actually did not see what was inside of me. Like, if I would have just let the ultrasound tech do what she had to do and the screen was turned to her and I would have never asked to see, I feel like I also would have gone through with it. So a mother's support is so important. I really thank my mom so much for being there for me. I feel that not everybody has that support. And I just want to say to, all the mothers out there with teenage daughters, obviously you don't ever want your daughter to get pregnant, as a teenager. But I do ask that, if it does ever happen, to be supportive. Please be there for them, just be supportive in the decision that they make, because they look up to you. They look at you for like an answer, and they want like family approval. They want your approval. So it's so important that you just be there for them, and just be understanding. Try to be understanding. So yeah, ladies, that's my story. I'm just so grateful for my family and everyone. I did have my son at the age of 17. Yeah, I had him August 14th and I turned 18 August 23rd. So I was 17 when I actually had him. And he is 8 years old right now. And I'm just so grateful for him, because he has changed my life for the better. I don't know where my life would have headed without him. I feel like maybe I would have gone through, a wrong path, doing bad things, getting involved in bad situations. And thanks to him, like, I had a reason to live. So I'm just so grateful to have him. He makes me so happy. And so I'm just so grateful. If you have any questions, you can ask them below and I will answer them honestly. I'm still with my son's father. We're married and he's always been very supportive. He never ever tried to, push me to do the abortion or anything like that. So when I decided to keep my son, he was very supportive. So we're just very grateful for everything. And I'm just so happy. So just wanted to share my story with you all. I'm hoping that, I can help somebody out there. If you are a young lady and you are pregnant, just know that it is your decision at the very end of the day, whether or not you choose to abort or you choose to keep. But just know that, a child is a blessing and it could definitely change your life. I know a lot of people feel like, it's going to ruin your career. You won't be able to go to school. And, to a certain extent, it could slow down, the process of, reaching your career faster. But when you choose, life over a career, it's like, which one is more important to you? You want to be able to provide for your child, but then you don't want to, make a wrong decision and then end up regretting it for the rest of your life just because, you couldn't finish school as fast as you wanted to. So you really have to be careful with the decisions that you make. And of course, I don't recommend any teenagers to get pregnant in their teen years. I recommend you use protection, definitely, so that you can, prevent having to be in that position where you have to make that decision. So I just want to thank you ladies for, watching this video, and I would, appreciate your understanding. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, go ahead and leave them below and I will reply. Thank you so much for watching.